What if I told you you could launch your own SaaS without writing a single line of code? Sounds crazy? Impossible? Too good to be true? No, that's exactly right. In this following video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step play on how you can build no-code knowledge MVP SaaS right now. Whether you're a tech newbie or you just want to save time and money, this is your ultimate guide to building a SaaS on a budget. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about what is an MVP. An MVP stands for a minimum viable product. This is the simplest version of your product, and it's actually going to be essentially what solves the core problem for your customers. Here, it's not about perfection. It's about testing your idea and getting it in front of customers, seeing how they react. And I'll touch on this in the future video, but how you can get this to understand or basically explain to investors as well if you want to take it that route, which I'm assuming you want to build a SaaS to make a lot of money. The best way I like to put it is think of it as the beta version of your full product. Remember, for investors, showing them a tangible working product is a great way of showing your vision and just having it really have good sustainability in the future. Take Instagram, for example. When it first started, it wasn't all this jam feature packed. As a matter of fact, it was actually very buggy and it was just a simple photo sharing tool. The reason why I'm saying this is because people get overwhelmed to start. It's because you're comparing yourself day one to all the apps day 10,000, right? You need to take that out of your head. You can't look at TikTok, Instagram, any apps that are heavily funded, that are even bootstrapped for a couple of years now, because they're way ahead of the game, but they all started with remark. A simple sketch, wireframe, drawing, an idea, and the grit. The biggest thing I want to talk about today is you don't need to have coding skills, you do need grit and persistence. So guys, in simple, the goal of an MVP is validate your idea, attract users, and learn what works and what doesn't. Another thing I learned the hard way is building an MVP also saves you countless money and hours from building countless features your users may or may not ever need it in the first place, which would be a pain learning after. Trust me, I learned this hard way with my application Nexa, where we built some things that we thought were nice to haves in our head until we really asked users and saw that just weren't being used, and then they had to get shelved. Okay, so how do we go about this? Well, step one, let's validate our idea, right? The first step towards building any SaaS is ensuring there's demand in the idea, right? People are facing the problem. A lot of people are facing this problem, and they may or not be willing to pay for that problem. It should be a pain point, okay? Number one, identify the problem. What specific problem will your SaaS solve? Be as clear as possible. You need to reflect on your own life. I tell people this all the time. One of the best ways you can make an idea, of course, you can do research, but you want to figure out what personal problems did you come across, your friends, your family, on a daily basis, on your workplaces, in your private life, in your social life, right? In the tools you use. Because when you experience pain points personally, one, you will endure through the pain because you have a bigger why and you understand more. You're more competitive as a founder from other competitors in your space. And another plus is investors will believe in you more, right? When you're investing for your first round, they don't really care about the product as much as the market. They're looking at who's the founder behind the product and how much can we believe in him? Well, if he faces the problems that he's solving, he clearly is well versed on the topic. He has the grit and persistence to keep moving forward. Now, if you don't have an immediate personal problem in mind, then you're gonna have to do some detailed research. Here's 3 things I would do. Interview others. Speak with your friends, colleagues, family, people. Ask them about what are your daily frustrations. What are some daily problems you face? You need to go on, what's happening? What's wrong? Get all as much as information you can. 2, online communities. Explore Reddit threads, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, niche forums, Google, no matter what it is. Look for recurring problems. You can even look at the comments of a lot of videos and find current problems. Look at reviews online and look for current problems, right? This is obviously a time-consuming process, but research is super important. That's a mistake I also made, but now I learned it and I want to make sure you guys get it right the first time so you don't have to go through the same mistakes that I did. 3, very common one, competitor research. Well, you know what you're building. If you kind of have an idea, well, go look at what your competitors are doing and see what people are complaining about. See what users have to say. Look at their feedback, right? If you pay attention to this, that's how you win. A lot of people on Amazon, when they do FBA as an example, they don't just copy a product to succeed long term. They look at a product in a niche that's doing fairly well and they see, well, what are people complaining about? How can we make this better? How can we innovate this and manufacture it down to that process much better and much important, which will then, of course, make a better product. And you listening to your customers is the most important advice you can ever take and do throughout your entire creation of your journey. I'm assuming, once again, you're not here for a quick get rich scheme. You're probably here to make a SaaS because you know that it's hyper scalable. And if the problem you solve is correct, you'll be financially free for life. Remember, focusing on a problem that resonates with you or your target audience deeply, it not only makes the process more meaningful, but it also sets you up with a genuine impact and just providing super great value. For example, scheduling meetings across multiple time zones is probably a nightmare. Now, I would research my audience. Who's facing this problem? Why are they facing this problem? When is this happening? How many times is this happening? I would check Reddit, LinkedIn, Slack communities, right? Online, Google, search existing tools like Calendly, Zoom, what's going on? Discord, right? You need to have a good research plan. And if you do these 3 steps, right, either asking your family, going online, checking competitors, you're going to be on the right path. 2 other great tools like Answer the Public and Google Keyword Planner is also really helpful because you can see in real time what questions people are asking on the internet live, which also gives you an indication of, well, what are collectively as a widespread population, large problems being faced, or just curiosity and questions asked, which can then help your research if you're still in that research phase of, okay, what system, service, or software should I actually build to approach this problem? Okay, now our last thing in validating the idea is we got to validate the demand. Similar to like the previous option, using tools like Google Trends, surveys, and direct customers or direct conversations with family, friends, these startup forums, this will give you a really good idea and confirm, are people willing to use, or do they need the solution, and are they willing to pay for the solution? Give you an example, using Google Trends, you can look at specific keywords to the similar solution in your niche, and it'll literally tell you, well, how often is this being looked at? Is it being searched for? Is it being analyzed? Right? Google Keyword Planner can also assist in this really well. And then the best ways I can go from there is maybe try to pickpocket people on social media also that are potentially be similar target customers and just conduct one-on-one interviews, right? I used to do this. I used to go on LinkedIn in my niche and I would ask somebody and say, hey, we built this solution. It's directly related to your niche. I'll give you an example for Nexa. So I'll message recruiter and say, hey, we reduce hiring costs by 80%. We eliminate hiring time by literally 95% per month. I was wondering if we built this tool which integrates into your workflow, blah, 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 would you be willing to use it? Some didn't respond, like they won't. Some did, and some said, hey, why don't you update me? I'd love to join your list and try this out for you and give you feedback. Lo and behold, a few of those individuals took that, loved it. Some of them had staffing agencies and were customers right now, okay? So let's re-summarize this. So now when it comes to validating your idea, 1, identify the problem, research your audience, and validate the demand. Now, here's a quick tip. You don't need this right now, but this will help you really well. As you're doing this, and if it makes sense and it works, have a brief pitch created. Start working on your pitch deck, because if this is good and you are running on a budget like you are watching this video, you're gonna want to raise some funding, and it's gonna be really helpful to help you scale, get an exit, make the multi-million dollars that you're probably in this business for in the first place. So having a deck that has a problem, solution, the target, your progress, the needs, very easily done, makes it very easy to continue to show some investors as you're going along, because if that catches interest, then you are officially well done. And you don't need to do it right away. If you can handle it, you're good to go. So sounds good. All right, coming at the next step is define core features. Now that your idea is validated, it's time to outline your MVP features. You want to focus on features that only address your core problem for now. So number 1, list of must-have features. I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing my SaaS must do to solve this problem? For my previous example, a time zone scheduling app. I mean, the feature should have automated time zone conversion. Right? That's a no-brainer. Number 2, cut the nice to haves for now. Fancy animations, extra integrations, you can wait until you validate core ideas, and then you're going to supercharge your app later. Number 3, wireframe your concept now. You don't need coding experience for this. You can literally use free tools like Figma or Canva to have a simple representation of what you want the visual interface front end, meaning what users or your people that use your tool will see. This will help you stay focused, communicate your vision and goal, and also help with the future steps when it comes to turning that wireframe visualization into a real tangible application that I can press on and click on, interact with, and solve my problem through. Now, this step not only streamlines your development process, but it keeps the cost super low while you're here for this video. Every feature you add will add complexity. So in the beginning, stick to essentials, validate the idea, see if people even give a shit to use it in the first place. All right, step 3, building your SaaS, right? Either no-code platforms, or I have another recommendation in place. Check this out. So here's where the magic happens, right? Building your SaaS. And for you guys that are watching this, you probably don't know how to code. So you're probably thinking no code platforms, but I have another solution for you, and that's called offshore teams, right? The video was just building a SaaS on a budget. You still need a couple $1,000s. And if you don't even have that yet, you're probably not ready to build a SaaS in the first place because there's going to be so many problems. You need to be resourceful with having some money in hand. But since we came on the topic anyways, I will help you with some no code platforms. So if you are adamant on everything and you just want to use a no code platform, Bubble.io, right? It can help you build web SaaS platforms. It offers drag and drop tools for creating workflows and user interfaces. But if you don't understand code and software or just some basic understanding of it, well, I think it's still, doesn't be, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? It's not the best. So that's why I say there's another better option. Now, another one, Airtable, also similar like no-code tools and Glide apps, also ideal for Google Sheets, and you can turn that into functional mobile apps. And of course, Zapier can automate a few of these processes. But once again, that could add complexity and time in the wrong way. So it might be a lot cheaper, very cheap, but the time and things to do all this, the headaches, the confusion could result in actually more wasted money and time. So here's the next step, and I would say do this. Listen, work with an offshore team. These are teams based out of East Asia, India, Pakistan, Slavic, European countries, Ukraine. Doesn't matter. They're not based in the Western or heart of the European world like UK, London. What this is going to do for you is this is going to reduce your budget by 90%. Like I said, I made this video to show you can build this under 5,000. So just for a couple thousand, they'll do your entire MVP. They'll do steps 3, meaning making it. You need a good job at explaining 1 and 2, so then you can bring them a ready wireframe that they can bring to life, and then now you can validate it. Right? Hosting is cheap as hell when you first start, so you don't got to even worry about that. So now you have 2 options for this step 3 when it comes to building it. You have a no-code platform, for example, like Bubble.io, or offshore teams. I say go offshore teams. The choice is yours. Play around with your options. I'm giving you what I did, but I'll leave the ultimate decision in your hand. Now, once again, no code doesn't mean no learning curve. You're going to need to know how some function integrations, how front end, back end, middleware, databases, how all these different systems interact, and your hosting platforms, how to turn application code, things using like code repositories like GitHub. There's a lot of things, and you have to know that you're a founder. This is what you paid for, right? You went from not working in a job to work yourself. The best way I said it is you're working 80 hours, so you don't have to work 40. Well, now prepare for that and understand it. You don't need to be an expert, but you need to kind of understand how these code frameworks and how these different systems work and build a software, right? That's why I said start with an offshore team. The more you communicate, it'll just start making sense. All right, step 4 is test and iterate. Before you officially launch, you're going to want to test it with real users, real people, specifically or preferably in your target audience that are facing the problem that you solved, right? That you built this for. 1, beta testing. Share your app with a small group of target users. I would literally start with my friends and my family and my partners, right? I know people will list other tools that will get it out there, but the fastest way to get it is in your quickest social network. There's going to be no lag, no frequency, no friction. And if I'm being honest, they're probably going to give you some brutal honesty and results because, they don't believe in you or they don't see you winning. They're just going to drop it on you, right? Imagine talking about yourself like they're going to give you some heat, right? Now, if that's not the case and you want other options, use Product Hunt, Beta List, or if you're like me, go on social media and yap about the journey and people will automatically start using it and you'll get feedback. Yap as much as you can. Don't care about anybody trying to steal this. If it's actually good as it is, nobody is probably thinking about it. Go do all those things. Collect feedback. In my MVP, I created a little Google Drive link on the bottom of my app saying, hey, do you have feedback? You have a suggestion? You need help? So then they can quickly enter a 4 or 5 minute thing letting me know. I would actually also, any first users, I had an email list set up right off the bat too. So every time a user would log in, it goes to our email list and I would just communicate. And had that founder level communication sometimes in early stages, it's so crucial because who gets that? You use HubSpot, you use Instagram, you're not talking to Mark Zuckerberg, right? It's hyper scaled. So it's cool listening to a founder because sometimes they feel heard, they feel listened to. People like that. That is your superpower right now. Your underdog power. 3, most important thing in the video. Iterate quickly. Like OpenAI, like Sam Altman, iterate quickly, guys. Move quick. You see a problem, you see feedback, get that working that same day. Work on it the same day. Try to have the quickest iteration cycles you can and watch how quickly your application becomes an MVP to a full-fledged enterprise or like production live, amazing, tangible piece of software that looks beautiful on the Apple Store or the Android Store, online as a web application, desktop application, you name it. I want you to pay close attention to what people say about the usability of the application, the user experience, the problems. This is golden and it'll get you having the best SaaS in that niche and eventually having a decent chunk of the market share because you simply listened and you're customer obsessed. Okay, guys. So I'll give you an example of all this. When I launched Nexa, it wasn't a job search recruiting, training organization platform where people that graduate and for boot camps and stuff where we deliver the career services for them. And if you're a job seeker, you can go as an individual. And like I said, as for a recruiter, you can do all of that. It was just an interview simulation tool because I literally ran a training company, taught cybersecurity, cloud computing, and I was like, dude, it's costing too much to have too many career advisors and people to, run interviews and do all these things with them. So I'm like, isn't there a tool that we can use that will quickly just cybersecurity will give them solid questions based on their resume and their strengths and weaknesses, and then they can give them a detailed feedback report, and they keep taking this and improve. It's kind of what we did, and people loved it. And then I realized the more and more I spoke to more people, I realized other problems, and then I started adding after. And even then I was wrong because I started adding some stuff that I didn't need to at first. And that's kind of earlier in the video I said, be careful. Another thing that really helps is be transparent. A lot of people are going to try to present all this fluff and say, yeah, we're the next big thing. Maybe you are, but for now you're not. Just tell users, hey man, we're in the development phase. It's free. We're literally using your feedback is the golden part. And maybe we'll appreciate you and we'll give you free access for a little bit longer because that's what helps, right? You got to offer exclusive perks sometimes. You got to do what you got to do. You're a founder, be resourceful. You're in this game for a reason. My channel is not about getting pity. You're here because you're doing a great service. We appreciate you. I believe in you. Now you got to be resourceful with that because you pick the path of the most resistance, which is the founder. You're the 0.1%. Not many people will be in your position. So when you're watching this, I know you're going to win. Be resourceful and make it happen. The last step, not quite needed for an MVP phase, but it's still really helpful because it can take you to the next level. That is marketing. Market smart. Step 5. Marketing. This is a great saying that I told me and my developers, and I'll say it to you guys as well. Building your MVP is half the battle. We used to always build our MVP and be like, this is cool. We have 0 users and it's cool. Now imagine how hard it is going to be to get actually human beings to try it, use it, and now worse, pay money for it. So here are a few ways budget friendly that can help you get started and really get it out there in the world. And I wish I learned this as well quickly because I learned the hard way. Number 1, you know what I'm about to say. It's common sense. Leverage social media. These applications that are already there have billions of active users, guys. Not millions, billions of active users. You sharing your journey on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, be smart on which users are for each social media app and how you present your tool on each app a little bit differently. Will gain traction, will cause questions. Be creative with the hooks and the songs and the trends. This is the best advice I can give anybody, including myself. I wish I should listen to myself. I'm making these YouTube videos because I know that there's founders out there that need a support system where we go into the fluffy motivational stuff. We don't go deep into the metrics of really building good applications and having good mindsets towards them because we need people like us. Without you, there's no jobs, there's no innovation, there's no things that are being built, right? There's only a few Elons. We want more, we want more. We're going to foster a mindset for that. How do I do that if I'm not being transparent and teaching that it's okay to go through all these problems? So yes, you're going to suck at social media in the beginning. But guess what? You're a founder. You're building an app. Guess what? You just started another business, technically indirectly, which is a social media business of your personal brand. It's very important. But guess what? It's no better time to start now. And I'm fully here to support you. Try it. You'll learn it. You'll get it. Just shit out 10, 15, 20 videos and you'll start understanding it on all platforms. You're going to have to eliminate what people think about you. People making fun of you, your friends. That needs to go all out the window if you want to be a founder. None of that stuff doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they don't really care. You're worried about what's in your head. That's not even the reality of what's going on. 2, content marketing. This helps a lot too. I mean, you can use so many different platforms, but if you create vlogs, and this kind of ties into number 1, but you know what? This ties into number 1. I wanted to break this down. When I say content marketing, I'm saying get a bit deeper into long form content. So you can give more how-tos or analysis videos on YouTube, write deeper content, blog posts, a higher application helps users, things like that. This becomes SEO friendly, right? The more blogs you create, it essentially will show up on Google, but it'll rank better. So far we have 1, leverage social media, 2, content marketing, 4, overall marketing better, marketing smarter. Lastly, most important 1, 2 as well. I'll put them all important. I did this a lot, but I should have did the 1 and 2 as well when I'm doing this. This one does help. So as I'm saying, I had very poor social media skills, but I did number 3, which is cold outreach. I emailed and I DM'd pretty much everyone in my target audience and kept the message short and focused. This is extremely important. And I'm gonna explain this right now. If you're building a B2C product, right, it's very hard. Your main leverage will come from one and two, right? You can't message billions of people, but you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to email a lot of people content. You're gonna have to be on tools like Reddit. It's what it takes, but it's possible because you don't need 100% market share to make millions. You need like 1 to 5%, maybe 10%, depending on your total addressable market, which will go on that. This is important on how you message people. We were messaging hundreds of people on LinkedIn. We were B2B. Next is a B2B tool. Initially at heart, it's always going to be B2B. So our goal is who's our decision makers and our target audience. We need to create a very well crafted message, right? These guys are busy. They probably get pitched a lot. They're decision makers. They don't have time. You need to tell them very simply, hey man, love your feedback. Here's what we're doing. Here's what it solves. I think it's going to be a great synergistic partnerships. I would love to show you. Somewhere along that aspect, you gotta fine tune it and fine tune it and fine tune it and A/B test it till you start getting responses and get them to talk to you on the phone, get them to get to a call level where you can present this, and don't leave without ever having another call in place or without having some sort of pilot in place for them to use it, no matter what the case is. This is really important because this will help you. In the beginning, not many people, 1 and 2, will be taking time, but you need to be planting your seeds while you're doing it. You might not get any traction on the videos. They're probably not the best, right? But it's planting seeds for you not only to get better, but for people to see your resume, your online blueprint. Because now once you get all these videos out and you're cold outreaching, well, now somebody might press your profile and say, should I connect with them? Should I respond to them? Boom, social proof is there. You have videos, you have content, you look like you're doing something. I would respond to you, but okay, cool. I can see right here you have this cool, interesting app. It's related to the message you sent me. Okay, interesting. And it's also in my target niche. Yes, I might respond to this. I'm having this problem, right? Remember, if everything makes sense and the message is done clearly and it indicates that you're either going to help them save time, helping them save money, or you're helping them making the money, that's usually what most problems will initially solve, right? That's the case. If you go back to our time zone issue, what does that time zone issue do, right? Having a time zone issue, sometimes solving it, it creates headache, it creates annoyance and confusion. It ends up wasting a lot of time. You're saving somebody a lot of time and efficiency, right? I can put that in anything. Think of any product, right? It's saving time, it's saving money, or it's probably helping make more money. And that's why people usually purchase the product, right? I will purchase Instagram, or I use Instagram because it saves me hella time in getting connected and getting my message out there, right? I pay for tools like marketing clip editing because it saves me hella time than me editing myself. So, okay. Lastly, guys, market smart. Leverage social media, content marketing, cold DM and outreach. You want to focus on building relationships and not just selling. People love that. That's gonna from day one build you a customer experience. They'll make you a company, not this TikTok side hustle SaaS, but a real platform, right? The next big Fortune 500 company. I see it in you. You can do this. So I hope this will help. And then aside from everything, obviously persistence and consistency is the main thing. The grit, that is key to do all of these things. You need to regularly contact with your audience. You got to regularly update them, mention them, go to these success stories. This keeps them engaged and understanding over time. Easiest way, free email list in the beginning. So every time they sign up, keep on keeping them informed. And I also used to take this conversations to like Slack and WhatsApp. So it felt like, whoa, they're like, dude, it's like being a friend. I have a problem. You guys respond. It's such a good feedback and customer success experience. And even now our actual like live customers, we have them in an engaged account like that. And you'll notice a lot of companies do that because it helps, right? Making the customer feel like they're important will have your lifetime value of them paying you infinite. And that's it, guys. Now from validating your idea, launching an MVP, marketing it, you should now have a clear idea of what paths and systems you can take, what tools you can use along the way to make your life easier, and how to interact and engage with your audience to also improve your application. Now, obviously, if you like this, please comment, like, and subscribe. I can obviously dive deeper into every single step of the video I mentioned, like how to keep development tools more organized, how to keep audiences more organized, how to understand marketing and go deeper into that for specifically SaaS founders, right? Everything can be dived deeper. But with your help, your comments, and your feedback, we can go ahead and continue to create more videos because once again, I believe it's important for founders. I believe you guys are important. You're the cornerstone of this economy. We need to encourage people like you to build things, and it is my life's work and my mission to tell people and make all this so transparent. In my other videos, we talk about what clearly we do in my journey, the problems, because I want you to see that it is normal, it's possible, and I want to encourage you to build and fail and build cool things that people will use. Because yes, it'll make you financially free. You'll help other people create so many jobs, and you'll create a gap in this world. You'll create a dent in this world and go build something of yourself. And we want to help all founders have that transparency so I can create more founders. Once again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.